Does the God Emperor of mankind love you, soldier? You'll find out in the end. Now grab that lasgun, affix your bayonet, and charge that greater demon, you bedrock of humanity's defense. The Astra Militarum, or known in Low Gothic, the Imperial Guard, are the primary fighting force of mankind that are active all throughout the Imperium. They are the billions of men, women, and prepubescent teens that fight day and night to keep away the enemies of mankind. The fervor of the Imperial Creed burns in their souls and puts them on the path to victory. Out of all the horrors of the galaxy, nothing is more terrifying than a human adult in flak armor carrying a firearm multiplied by the billions. The Astra Militarum is a massive arm of the Imperium's military might that is structured intricately by the plannings of the Departamento Munitorum. The Departamento Munitorum is a branch of the Adeptus Administratum, and it is mainly devoted to the supplying, recruiting, and organization of the Imperial Guard. Countless clerks and bureaucrats work tirelessly to keep the Imperial Guard in a workable enough condition, but the constant outbreaks of war throughout the galaxy make this an impossible issue to tackle. Still, there is a stringent hierarchy of command that is followed by a large majority of Imperial Guard. Sometimes, you get the odd rebellious trooper who breaks orders to do things their own way, only to be enlightened by a bullet from the nearest superior officer. In this video, we'll take a look at how the Astra Militarum organizes itself in a sea of bureaucracy and war. Get behind me, citizen! You look like you just graduated from a schola. How are you going to protect me?
Conscript. The means of which people can find themselves drafted into the Imperial Guard are incredibly varied. The particular homeworld of one's birth has a significant impact on how guardsmen are recruited, but timing also plays a role. Anyone can be conscripted into the Imperial Guard in times of emergency. Conscripts can have a wide variety of origins, between being born during a Guard deployment to being forced into the Guard due to the demands of the Imperial tithe. Conscripts are given the most basic of equipment and training, and not much is ever expected from them. But another body in the fight is always appreciated. If a youth actually wishes to join the Imperial Guard and is not put off by the terror of their situation, then they can be designated as Whiteshields and be put on the path to joining a legitimate Guard regiment. They will be given the basic supplies of a recruit, but their helmet will have a noticeable white stripe across its crown. Whiteshields are well known as being the youth army within the Imperium, as most of its members are kids who have been born on fortress worlds or during Guard deployments, and they feel a sense of duty to join the Guard as soon as possible. Conscripts can even be taken from penal colonies, where some believe they might find atonement for their crimes by serving in the Guard. Whenever the Imperium is in times of crisis, and when is it not, they expect whoever is capable of picking up a gun to come to its aid. Experience isn't necessary. I'm doing my part for Heon Terra. Guardsmen. The lowest enlisted rank in the Astra Militarum. Like with the conscripts, guardsman culture varies differently depending on the homeworld the trooper hails from. Guardsmen will be among the uncountable rank-and-file troops that will be put into the basic groups known as squads. Squads are then organized into platoons, which in turn are grouped into companies, and then finally into regiments. The sizes of each, again, vary wildly due to inevitable circumstances outside of their control. Let's just say people in field command tend to not live long. Recruitment is always driven by the tithe placed on each planetary governor. The tithe requires that 1/10 of a planet's planetary defense force members must be handed over to the Guard for recruitment. These are usually the best 10% of soldiers the PDF currently has on hand. But you don't have to be forced into the Guard. In fact, given a person's planetary origins, it might be preferable in their eyes to join the Guard in order to escape the hell that is their destitute planet. Training is always intense, but it can be more difficult if the person recruited is from a more primitive world without access to some of the technologies of the Imperium at large. However, the results of Guardsman training produces swaths of new soldiers that are able to fulfill any role they are assigned to. Vox operators, heavy gunners, breachers, medics, standard bearers, scouts, etc. are all available for deployment after a tithe has been delivered. To some cultures, it is an honor to join the Guard. To others, it is damnation. Such differences in origins can cause interregimental conflicts between guardsmen, but these will usually quickly end by the snap of a commissar's bolt pistol. Regardless, troopers do their best to keep the Imperium functioning and alive for another day. At the end of their duty, a guardsman's next of kin will get a martyrdom certificate signed by their commanding officer. If they are lucky, they might even get promoted.
Sergeant, we need to requisition more recaf from command.
Corporal. Ranked slightly above the standard guardsman, corporals are non-commissioned officers that work alongside their squad's sergeants to help run the inner workings of their group. They help make sure that their respective squads are properly trained and equipped so that the regiment as a whole is ready for combat. Submitting requests for supplies and checking equipment can be an example of their duties. And should their sergeant be slain, then they will take up their responsibilities.
Everyone, form up on me! We won't let these chaos cultists trick, backstab, and bamboozle us!
Sergeant. The leaders of Militarum squads and the bulk of small-scale leadership in a regiment. Sergeants look after their squads and lead them in battlefields, making sure to remember the names and duties of their subordinates. They are also responsible for the training and mentoring of new recruits. Sergeants have much to offer new recruits in terms of wisdom, since they have seen enough horrors in the several years they've been enlisted to impart a lifetime of education. The rank is another title of NCO and will usually be succeeded by their corporals when they are killed off. It is at this rank when the status of veteran starts to come with material benefits for the soldier, as they are granted access to equipment that is classified as officer only. Different tiers of this rank exist that determine how close the individual is to the contact of commissioned officers above them. Sergeants have to earn the trust of their squad, or else the whole operation can fall apart quickly. Now, whether they earn this trust through positive or negative means is entirely up to them, but they must remember that many sergeants have been killed by their own soldiers due to their own terrible behavior to the people they are supposed to look after. This is the rank where looking after others starts to come into play, and sergeants have to acknowledge that.
My platoon goes forward. No enemy of humanity can stand against it!
Lieutenant. The lowest rank of commissioned officer in the Astra Militarum. Even though they are juniors in the command structure, they still have access to some of the better technologies of war at their disposal. Lieutenants have command of an entire platoon's worth of troops, and they are responsible for the lives of dozens of soldiers. A platoon is made up of several squads that are oftentimes specialized in certain styles of warfare. With so many individuals, it is likely that orders might not get followed to the letter. Should a squad be more rebellious than the others, it falls onto the platoon commander, i.e. lieutenant, to sort them out. This is a rank often handed to nobles with military lineages that have just started their career in the Guard.
To have made it this far in the Guard, you either need to be lucky or blessed.
Captain. The rank that commands an entire company of guardsmen. A company is usually made up of 2 to 6 platoons and consists of everything a captain might need to use. Armored vehicles, heavy weapons, transports, recon squads, battle psychers, abhuman teams, artillery, etc. are all at the command of the company's captain. Even though they are a higher commanding rank, they will still take to the field of battle and lead their troops by example. A wise captain knows how to make the most out of their company's incredibly wide-ranging selection of skills. A foolish captain thinks that their inheritance of military rank due to their status as a noble is all they will need to lead their troops. Just know that even at this higher rank, a commissar can still relieve them of duty should they be viewed as too incompetent.
Whew, damn! Survived another near-death fight, eh, Gaunt? So, tell me, when's it my turn to be Colonel?
Major. The second in command of a regiment. They will usually be called upon to take up the regimental commander's duties should they fall in battle. Sometimes they can be very ambitious to the point of annoying their superiors.
Shove it, Ron, and inform the troops that this greater demon is finally dead.
Colonel. the leader of an entire regiment of guardsmen and its commanding officer. This position has access to anywhere between hundreds to tens of thousands of troops. Advanced equipment is also available to them that no one else can requisition, such as personal regimental advisors that may even be capable of psychic divinations. Colonels can also be seen as pillars of their homeworld's values and cultures, being looked up to by those serving under them. They represent the pride and honor of their homeworlds, even though some may not have been originally from their regiment's planet. Colonels work to make sure their regiment is always combat efficient, even if it means absorbing troops from other more decimated neighboring regiments. A colonel can lead their regiment autonomously, free from the oversight of others should a conflict demand it. They fight to keep the pride of their regiment alive. Troops are a consideration.
My soldiers do not buckle. They do not yield. My soldiers rage!
General. A high-ranking command position that belongs in a special organizational level known as the General Staff. The General Staff is an area of command that looks beyond individual regiments. They are pretty much involved with the planning of troop deployments and wider campaigns. It is one of the most prestigious ranks held by individuals who have been on countless campaigns in their military careers. These tacticians must work, oftentimes, with multiple regiments of different planetary origins. They must take into account if the regiments at their command are capable of working well with each other or not. Such problems are usually quickly resolved by a well-made speech or threat of execution.
I'm on loan from Solemnus.
Lord General. The highest rank of the General Staff, next to Lord Solar. These individuals are highly decorated commanding officers that oversee entire campaigns under the command of a Lord General Militant. Should a situation be desperate enough, they can even take control of a planet's government so that they have direct access to its arsenal. The rank of Lord General is incredibly flexible, as even the tiniest shift in the outcome of a campaign can push a Lord General into taking more drastic measures to ensure success.
I swear to him on Terra, if these documents don't cease piling up, then the recaf will kill me before an actual battle. Lord General Militant.
Ranked above the General Staff, Lord General Militants oversee entire Imperial crusades. Their orders are given to them by the Departamento Munitorum and even, sometimes, the High Lords of Terra. They are strategists that have risen to their rank due to a combination of their noble familial ties and military achievements. Lord General Militants form their own general staffs using their own experience and connections they have formed amongst their peers during their time as generals or Lord Generals. Each sector of the Imperium only has one of these tacticians. A single person is in charge of Astra Militarum deployments in a 200 cubic light-years section of the galaxy.
Forwards, Constantine! The sanctity of Terra is counting on us! Lord Commander.
The penultimate rank within the Astra Militarum. A Lord Commander is the supreme commander of Imperial Guard activity within one of 5 segmentums of the galaxy entirely. The Imperium of Man is effectively spread throughout the entire Milky Way galaxy and has divided it into 5 segmentums, with Terra being in the center of these divisions. They are segmentums Solar, Obscurus, Pacificus, Ultima, and Tempestus. Ultima is the largest segmentum, while Solar contains the throne world of the Imperium. Since there are 5 segmentums of the galaxy, there are only just 5 Lord Commanders at any given moment. The one in charge of Segmentum Solar is given the absolute responsibility of making sure Terra never falls to its enemies, and that military forces can be mobilized relatively quickly to come to its defense. Being Lord Commander of the Segmentum Solar also comes with the added benefit of being a possible chair amongst the High Lords of Terra.
No call. I'm too busy to try and start a civil war on Mars by making you Fabricator General. I'm trying to keep this figurative empire of glue and tape together.
Lord Commander Militant. The highest rank of the Astra Militarum is surprisingly steeped in bureaucracy and politics. The Lord Commander Militant is in charge of the administrative workings of the Departamento Munitorum, and they work alongside the Master of the Administratum and the Chancellor of the Estate Imperium. The job is currently handled mainly by the returned Primarch Rubute Guilliman after his revival and subsequent reformations to the Senatorum Imperialis. This resulted in an attempted coup backed partially by the previous Lord Commander Militant that ended in abject failure. Now, the beleaguered Primarch has taken on the duties of managing the Astra Militarum alongside all of his other duties as Imperial Regent and Lord Commander of the Imperium. I know Lord Commander was a rank mentioned previously, but this is different due to the attached of the Imperium. It is a rank of insurmountable swaths of data, numbers, and scenarios that really only someone with Guilliman's organizational skills could effectively manage. Maybe now, the Departamento Munitorum will start to be viewed as reliable instead of a complete waste by the majority of guardsmen. These were the ranks of the Astra Militarum. Thank you to everyone for watching and for staying with me while I make more of these. I know this one was a bit lacking in information for certain ranks, but I can only give as much info as there is to be researched. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next lore entry as I tackle the various evolutions, so to speak, of the concept of humanity's defenders.